Hello, good day to everyone. I'm PeiLin, speaking from Belgium. Today, I'm going to take this opportunity to share my experience by using 6-channel differentiation in the treatment of COVID-19. So I'm going to share my PPT. And we consider TCM is not only arts, but it's a sophisticated technique, well done in this kind of a COVID pandemic. And COVID-19, we called it as a pandemic. The reason is that it has a high rate of infection, and also high mortality, etc. But still it's going on. And although we have a high efficiency of vaccination, we still need to fight this pandemic in long run. How long, we don't know. Therefore, with the help of modern medicine and with the help from different governments, we are confident that to win this battle. Today, we are going to cover different aspects of the lectures, mainly including 5 aspects. Those 5 aspects are going to indicate that 6-channel differentiation is one of the differentiation methods used to treat COVID-19. And there are different ways to make a differentiation in the treatment of COVID. Sanghan, which is the very famous book, Sanghan Lun, going to be used to introduce 6-channel differentiation in this treatment. Why it is important? Because there are different pathogenic factors going to involve the pandemic infections. When we use 6-channel differentiations, we have to understand that there is a broad sense of Sanghan and also narrowed sense of Sanghan. Broad sense of Sanghan means that we can use 6-channel differentiation to treat all kinds of external invasions. However, the narrowed sense of Sanghan for 6-channel differentiation is only going to focus on treatment of the disease caused by invasion of wind cold. And in fact, we use Sanghan 6-channel differentiation in these stages mainly to treat narrowed sense of pathogenic factors invasion, which is invasion of wind cold. As we know that the external invasion of pathogenic factors for COVID-19 include different aspects. For example, here we have listed that include wind cold, wind heat, toxin, cold damp, damp heat, etc. So it means that if we want to use 6-channel differentiation, we are not going to cover all aspects of the pathogenic factors. But when there is invasion of wind cold, showing some symptoms without damp, without much toxins, and then we are going to use this system perfectly. Due to the different pathogenic factors invasion, we have a different way of making the differentiations. What are those kind of options? It includes 脏腑 organ differentiation, 三焦 differentiations, and 胃气营血 differentiations. So altogether, with 6-channel differentiations, they compose a complete option for treatment of COVID-19. Therefore, at a different stage, for different pathogenic factors, we have to use different options to treat. It doesn't mean that we can use 6-channel differentiations to treat all kinds of COVID-19. This is not true. So when damp is involved, we can use another system called 三焦 system, 三焦 differentiation. But when there is high fever, there is blood heat, etc., we can use 胃气营血 differentiations. So 6-channel differentiation is one of those options. Why it is important to use 6-channel differentiations? Because during the development of COVID-19, we could see that sometimes we have light cases due to wind-cold invasion. We have severe cases due to wind-cold invasion, or even we have critical cases due to wind-cold invasions. And we also have to understand that when it is at the stage of light cases, the pathogenic factors, its mechanism, the pathogenic changes are different with that at the severe stages or critical stages. But no matter at the later stages, 6-channel differentiations could offer a timely, proper, and preventive treatment. The example is that when people have the wind-cold invasion at the stage of Taiyang situation, so the treatment is very clear, easy to make promotion of the sweating. But when it is at the severe cases, we are not going to use only the 6-channel differentiations, but also we can see that the treatment procedures are a little bit complicated. We are going to show you and what's the procedures. But when it is at the critical cases, and what can TSM do in that kind of situation? So we are going to give you some demonstration. But in any case, 6-channel differentiations are only one of the options to be used. Don't make a confusion that 6-channel differentiation is applicable for all kinds of situations. Look at here. That is the most important procedures to help us to understand why 6-channel differentiations could be used and what kind of situation are the indication of using the 6-channel differentiations. First, let's look at the light cases. Light cases most include 3 patterns, which means that the pathogenic factors are light. So the mechanism are also simple. And also the manifestations are also rather simple. They don't show much complaint, runny nose, dry cough, some fever, shivering, etc. Still, we have to understand that at this moment, 3 yang stages are mainly included. And then we have to understand at the different stages of yang systems, we have to use a different method of treatment according to the 6-channel differentiations. Otherwise, you are going to offer only one formula, one acupuncture treatment to deal with all the yang situations, which is not complete. But when it moves to the severe cases, severe stages, we can see that it's much more complicated. Usually, at the light cases, we only have one involvement of the channels. However, at the severe cases, we can have different mixture of different channels. For example, mostly they can be involvement of 2 channels. For example, Taiyang with Shaoyang, Taiyang with the Yangming, etc. But sometimes we can see mixture of 3 channels. For example, Taiyang, Shaoyang, Yangming, different cases. But only it can be seen at the severe cases. So when people move to the severe cases, we can automatically think that there is involvement of different channels. So it means that different the treatment formulas could be combined, not using a single formula or a single prescription of acupuncture to treat. When it is at the critical cases, it's much more complicated. Why? Because at this moment, there is still a yang involvement, yang channel involvement, but mostly at the critical cases, the yang, Taiyang, we don't see, Yangming we don't see, Shaoyang we don't see. We see a lot of cases with Shaoyin stage, which means that the yang of the body of the heart and the kidney are damaged. And at this moment, the failure function of the lung is also damaged. So it's quite dangerous. Let's move to have a look. How can we manage it successfully to demonstrate why necessary we use 6-channel differentiations. So at the stage of the light cases, we could see that when it is in the beginning cases of the COVID-19, and usually there is a single involvement of the channels, Taiyang or Shaoyang or Yangming. They're still light. So the treatment is relatively easy. For example, at Taiyang stages, we could use Ma Huang Tang, Gui Zhi Tang, Xiao Qinglong Tang, or Da Qinglong Tang. So you can observe again clearly that even at the Taiyang stage, due to different constitution, can be person with very strong reaction to the wind cold, or wind cold is very strong, we can use Ma Huang Tang. Otherwise, if people have a little sweating, we can use Gui Zhi Tang. And if people who have a constitutional cold phlegm accumulation in the lung, for example, people have allergy, asthma, we can use Xiao Qinglong Tang. If people have a lot of heat in Yangming, we can use Da Qinglong Tang. Even at the Taiyang stage, the treatment are a little bit different. We can use at this moment, use some ghost points. Why? Because we have to eliminate the pathogenic factors quickly, because it's pandemic pathogenic factors. It's not a simple wind cold. And then we can use points to mainly to disperse, for example, Latin 4, Triple 5, Gallbladder 20 to disperse wind cold. Meanwhile, we use lung 7, blood 13 to disperse the lung qi. Not descend lung qi to this, but disperse lung qi. But at the Shaoyang stages, people start to have different manifestation. For example, chairs, alternative chairs, and fever, big taste, poor appetite, etc. At this moment, we are not able to use Ma Huang Tang or those kind of a formula I have listed. We have to use Xiao Cai Hu Tang. But if you don't care, we still use Ma Huang Tang, Gui Zhi Tang, it doesn't work. You have to use Xiao Cai Hu Tang because it is at the neither interior nor external stage. That's why we have to use Xiao Cai Hu Tang. We could still use the ghost point to eliminate pathogenic factors. You can see the points are a little bit different. They're more used to harmonize Shaoyang. But when it is at the Yangming stage, it is much more fever or high fever, and that can be different with the Taiyang stage. So we have to use another formula called Bai Hu Tang, white type decoction. So you can see that the treatment with acupuncture is also different. We have to focus our attention to eliminate heat. Very interesting. But we can see the most interesting is that at the severe cases, so the treatment again different. So if it is Taiyang, we only treat the Taiyang. But at the stage of severe cases, usually there's a mixture of 2 channels. For example, we just take example, Taiyang and Shaoyang. So if we only treat Taiyang without care the Shaoyang, it's not complete. Or if we only care the Shaoyang without Taiyang, it's not complete. Therefore, San Hanlun has told us that we have to use Cai Hu Gui Zhi Tang, because this formula cares about Taiyang and Shaoyang at the same moment. So the acupuncture points also same that we take care of the situation of the Taiyang and Shaoyang. But the most important things I have to mention here, no matter at what mixture, at what stage with mixture of different channels, we have to care always the lung, 杏仁, 止脘, 止枢, 止后浦, etc. Why? These points should be added in all aspects of combinations. Why? Because COVID-19 is a sickness with the lung. So we have to also add lung 5, blood 13, etc. automatically, because we have to protect the lung. Lung is a main organ to be involved. Again, we take, for example, people who have Shaoyang and Yangming, we use Da Cai Hu Tang. Also, the points are different. At the stage of Taiyang and Taiying, so we can see Taiyang is there, And also PeiLin is there. People have mainly diarrhea, loose stool, poor appetite, swollen abdomen. So we have to care these two channels at the same moment. Therefore, we can use 桂枝人参汤 again. So in this case, you can see that TCM is a very sophisticated way of thinking. They offer different options to give treatment. This is only according to the 6-channel differentiation for the invasion of a wind cold. If it's a wind damp heat, toxical heat sectors, then we have to use another way of system of differentiation. We use Sanjiao, for example. We cannot only rely on the 6-channel differentiation. But when people move to the critical cases, at the stage of critical stages, for example, people have a lot of phlegm, shortened breath, oxygen saturation is very low, then we have to suggest that this situation is usually mixture of failure of the lung in descending the qi and water together with the Shaoyang stages. At this moment, usually we suggest people to be hospitalized. Why? Because they need oxygen, they need further support from modern medicine. Altogether, it means that TCM is very sophisticated, but sometimes at critical cases, we do need help, a combination of modern medicine. In this case, we want to save people's life and also support patients as much as possible. In China, in this situation, people still can offer some, for example, acupuncture or herbal medicine. However, in the Western countries, probably it is not possible because in the system, it's not included the TCM treatment. Therefore, I want to emphasize again, 6-channel differentiations is very important. It could be applicable in different stages. Again, I want to emphasize it is mainly indicated in wind cold invasion, but not for invasion of damp and also toxical heat at different stages. So thank you very much. I wish you a good practice, and also I wish you a very much successful in the future treatment. Thank you very much.